Tila naungkat ni Senator Ronald Bato de la Rosa ang umano'y kasong abuse ni ACT Teachers Party List Representative Franz Castro nang sagutin nila ang tanong hinggil sa pagsasampa ng kaso kay dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte. Sa ginanap na tanong ng bayan, the GMA Senatorial Face-Off 2025, nitong Sabado ng gabi, Pebrero 1, natanong sa kanila kung dapat bang sampahan ng kaso si dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte dahil sa di umano'y against humanity kaugnay sa war nito. Para kay Castro, long overdue na raw ang pagsasampa ng kaso kay Duterte.
Long overdue na ito. Pati yung mga kasapakat niya at nag-utos sa pagpatay sa war on drugs. Libo-libo ang pinapatay ni Duterte pero wala pang napapanagot. Kaya kailangan talaga ng hustisya ng ating mga mamamayan.
Para naman kay De La Rosa, conditional daw ang pagsasampa ng kaso sa dating Pangulo.
Ang sagot ko dyan is conditional, hybrid. Pwedeng yes, pwedeng no. Yes in the sense na nobody is above the law. Kapag mayroon siyang nagawang kasalanan, kasuhan natin. Pero kung wala naman siyang nagawang kasalanan, huwag mo siyang kasuhan base doon sa kaso ng ibang tao. Because guilt is personal. Huwag po nating ipaangkin kay Pangulong Duterte yung kasalanan ni Ninja Caps. Kaya po, after 3 years na tapos sa pag-ulo, walang kaso.
Nang hingan ng reaksyon sa sagot ni De La Rosa, nabanggit ni Castro na dapat ding kasuhan ang senador.
So, mismong siya, si President Duterte, ay umamin na pumatay siya ng tao. Kaya kailangan siyang kasuhan. At ito, sino ba yung nagdisenyo ng mga policy na ito? Siya rin at nag-cause ng pagpatay. Maging si Senator Bato ay dapat kasuhan.
Ribat ni De La Rosa.
Gigil na gigil kang kasuhan si Pangulong Duterte at ako ng mga kaso na hindi mo kami maliling. Kumusta na po yung conviction mo sa kasong trafficking? Ano na po nangyari? Bakit andyan ka pa? Hindi ka pa nakulong?
Ayon sa GMA News, noong 2018 nang kasuhan si Castro at 17 iba pa kaugnay sa kasong paglabag sa Expanded Anti-Trafficking in Persons Act of 2012 at sila ay pinayagang magpiyansa. At noong Hulyo 2024, hinatulang guilty ng Tagum City Regional Trial Court Branch 2 si Castro at 12 iba pa dahil sa paglabag sa Special Protection of Against Abuse, Exploitation and Discrimination Act kaugnay ng kasong isinampa laban sa kanila noong 2018. Sagot naman ni Castro sa sinabi ni De La Rosa.
Kung ito po ay nasa Kongreso, ay out of order ko po dahil wala siya sa tanong. At ang ginawa po natin na pagre-rescue, tama lang po yung ginawa ko na pagre-rescue sa mga teachers, sa mga bata, na biktima ng mga harassment, intimidation at threat doon sa sinasabi ni Senator Bato na kaso. So, kung sino mang mga teachers gagawin yon, yung ipagtanggol at sagipin yung ating mga teachers at mga estudyante. So, tingin ko po ay walang mali doon sa ginawa po natin doon sa kaso.
Ano pong risk yun na pinagsasabi niya? Na yung mga parents ng mga bata mismo ay galit na galit sa kanya. Bakit ginamit niya yung mga kabataan para sa kanilang kapakanan? Walang risk yun nangyari doon. In fact, konbiktado ka sa kaso eh. There was no rescue.
Well, yung sinasabi naman po ng mga magulang na galit sa akin, ay ito ay gawa-gawa lang ito. Ito mga magulang na ito. So kung titignan natin yung mga magulang ng mga bata na talagang involved doon sa pag-aaral ng mga bata doon sa Lumad School, ay talagang nangihinayang sila doon sa pagsasara ng mga eskwelahan ng mga lumad dahil alam naman natin kulang talaga sa serbisyong pang-edukasyon ang mga lumad. So talagang sila ay hinayang na hinayang at sinisisi ang gobyerno ng Duterte.
Ayon naman sa Facebook post ng Nuchiban Republic page, fake news ka, Bato? Malinaw na sinabi ng Korte Suprema sa kaso ng Pangilinan versus Cayetano, GR number 238875, July 21, 2021, na kahit umatras ang Pilipinas sa ICC, nananatili ang jurisdiksyon nito sa krimen na ginawa habang miyembro pa tayo ng Rome Statute. Ayon mismo sa Article 127 ng Rome Statute, Ang anumang imbestigasyon na nasimulan bago ang withdrawal ay maaaring ipagpatuloy at ang ICC ay may kapangyarihang ituloy ang paglilitis. Dagdag pa rito, nilinaw ng Korte Suprema na ang mga kasunduang pinasok ng bansa ay may bisa at hindi maaaring baliwalain ng unilateral withdrawal. Sa kaso ng Pilipinas, ang opisyal na withdrawal sa ICC ay naging epektibo noong March 17, 2019. Ngunit ayon sa desisyon ng ICC Pre-Trial Chamber noong September 15, 2021, nananatili ang jurisdiksyon nito sa mga krimen laban sa sangkatauhan na ginawa mula November 1, 2011 hanggang March 16, 2019, panahong sumasaklaw sa simula ng war on drugs ng Administrasyong Duterte. Ayon sa Office of the Prosecutor ng ICC, may reasonable basis na naniniwala silang may naganap na crimes against humanity tulad ng murder sa ilalim ng war on drugs. Kasama rito ang libu-libong patayang walang due process, ang pagkamatay ng mga inosenteng sibilyan, at ang sistematikong pag-target sa mahihirap. Hindi mo pwedeng burahin ang kasaysayan o takasan ang pananagutan sa batas. Ang hustisya ay hindi natitinag sa isang simpleng withdrawal at lalong hindi sa propaganda ng mga gustong umiwas sa investigasyon.
Mr. Guban, sinabi mo yung Davao Mafia and there are several calls made to the customs and you in fact said, kanina lang I was listening, na hindi actually ang nagko-control sa BOC and Commissioner, actually it's the order directly from the Davao Mafia. Would you know? Kasi you've mentioned about certain individuals composing the Davao Mafia. Would you know, for example, as an intelligent officer at that time, who makes these calls?
Your Honor,
Who basically orders things around?
Your Honor, based on my experience from the call of Davao, like for example,
Off mo muna yan. Sige. Okay. Try again. Try mo ulit.
wala na. Okay. Yes, hello. Okay. Ay, sorry. Before, Your Honor, I experienced during the time of Commissioner Paeldon na there was an instruction directly to me na i-release mo yung container because there was call from, well, sa bibig niya nang gagaling, from Pulong in Mans. Then Commissioner called the director na get off that container because there was call.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. For fairness sake, I'd like to solicit the what would be your position on that? What is your reaction that you that directly from you ordered that sat to, I don't know, kayo ba ho yung yes?
I would like to request the resource person who gave the instructions to him.
It was not Commissioner Faildon who gave that instruction that accordingly, based on the information you gathered, Congressman Pulong Duterte and Mans Carpio ordered the commissioner to do some things around customs. Tama po ba?
Your Honor, to our director. Yes, Your Honor.
It was not Commissioner Faildon.
According to him, because of the call coming from the commissioner.
Okay. Anyway, thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Congressman Adyong. The next to interpolate is Congressman Paulo Ortega. You have
Mr.
10
Chair.
minutes.
I have a few questions directed to Mr. Jimmy Guban. Pero we have already seen po na through the interpellations of the Honorable Jinky Luistro at saka kay Honorable Rog na it is an automated and it is a large-scale system dedicated to battle corruption. But parang through the question and answers po kanina, parang it is an intricate system, an updating and modernization system. Pero parang mas na-modernize yata yung corruption sa yung mga nangyayari sa loob. Kasi nga, when it's centralized, isa lang po pinapanggalingan ng order unless na ang ginagawa sana is hiwa-hiwalay po yung gaya na dating gawin nila na parang devolve po yung function. So the TARA system in itself, Sir Jimmy, parang ang dating po ng TARA system is mas napapadali po yata yung mga nangyayari kung pabor dun sa taong gagawa ng kalokohan o may connection sa loob. Tama po ba?
Yes, Your Honor. Mas pabor sa kanila.
So parang ano siya, magical system po talaga. Hindi siya designed to ano po, matanggal po yung traditional na sistema. And I would believe na baka pati po itong mga magnetic lifters natin, saka mga x-ray po natin, itong magnetic lifter, yung x-ray, di siyempre, we would speculate na parang magical na rin po itong mga to. Kumbaga, depende po sa dadaan, depende po sa kliyente na papasok. Parang ganun po ba?
Yes, Your Honor. Lalong pagkakaibigan na, kahit tumatagal ang container sa loob ng yarda, madali lang ulit yun i-process, tumatiming lang sila. So yan po ang... Ay.
Sige po. Tuloy nyo lang.
Yan po, pag dumaan po sa x-ray, pagka-enrolled na, so hindi na masyado bumubukas yung x-ray. Binibilang na lang. You know, I'm doing this for a change, Your Honor, for reformation. Because I'm very thankful that the Honorable Commissioner has also admitted that there was really corruption. For a change, Your Honor, and for reformation. Ang TARA po ay automatic. Pag hindi ka enrolled, nahihirapan ang processor dahil naiipit minsan ng dokumento, natatagalan mailabas. Imbis na 2 days, 3 days, inaabot ng weeks, inaabot ng months. So kung enrolled ka ho sa lahat ng offices na dadaanan, and even I'm sure, kahit pa paano pinadadalhan din po ang legal. So, I could not really, Your Honor, that is the truth. I experienced that already. I have so many friends from legal. Kayang baguhin na po natin ngayon. Mawawala po yun pag isa lang ang opisina talaga tumanggi. Pag ang legal tumanggi, Your Honor, ipapuputol ko yung ulo ko. Pag nagdesisyon sila na walang lagay. Pag nandun sa kanilang dokumento. Now, that is a very big problem, Your Honor. If we want to clean the custom, let's all clean from head down the line. Dahil kung isa lang po ang unit na magkiklean, hindi po mangyayari. At hindi po yun mangyayari kung walang blazing, the Honorable Commissioner. Dahil bingi-bingihan, pero nandun sa likod, ang kanyang kolektor. Hindi akin yan. Kanila yan. So, Your Honor, that is based on my personal experience for about 27 years in intelligence, Your Honor.
And Mr. Chair, no, to manifest lang, I'm sure meron pa rin pong mga ganitong problema na existing right now with the interpellations of our chairman kanina. Sir Jimmy, would it be safe to assume na kung wala po kayo dun sa sistema na yon, sa TARA system na yon, ibig sabihin automatic listado na kayo na madidelis, yung mga part na kayo ng mga smuggler, if you're not willing to cooperate and be part of that so-called intricate na system po?
Madidelay po yung proseso, Your Honor, yung dokumento mo. Or baka mamaya, mawawala pa kahit nakalads ka na, kahit computerized ngayon eh. Kung halimbawa 1,000, Your Honor, maano ko rin po kanina yung 2.5 na kinumpute ng dalawang kagalang-galang na commissioner po. Hindi po itong 2.5 times 2,000. Ang bawat port po about 8 or 10,000 containers dyan ang lumalabas daily. So yung nakatara dyan sa about 6,000. Yung green lane, super green lane, kahit multinational yan, in fact, nagbibigay pa yung mga facilitator niyan eh. So yung TARA system po, it's about not only 27 billion, it's about 100 billion. So doon lang po yung sa isang port. Eh pag ang port pa po ng Manila International Container Port, Subic, Batangas, Davao, Cebu. So ilang ports po yun araw-araw na nawawala. That's for about 100,000 dapat po yan, Your Honor. Ang kwintadas po niyan mula sa taas pababa, it's more than 100,000, not only 30,000. 10,000, maybe sa isang unit lang yun, o sa unit lang namin yung sa CIS. Unit ng police. Mas worse, pagka ang examiner appraiser. Then of course, the office of the commissioner and the office of the district collector. So kung yun po ay mawawala, magiging malinis. Mapiprevent po natin ang precursors ng droga, mapiprevent po natin yung illegal importation mismo ng droga, din makakatulong po sa ekonomiya. In fact, pag maganda po ang management ng custom, kahit po dollar salting, matitrace natin, then economically will improve, Your Honors. Including the agricultural products, wala pong mawawala pag wala po yung TARA. Dahil may dagdag ko po, yung import commodity clearance ay nanggagaling po yun sa ibang agency, government agency concern. Pag mayroon na po noon, nandun na po ang bilangan ng TARA. Para po makapag-import, halimbawa bigas, bibigyan ng BPI, baril, bibigyan ng PNP. So lahat po yun kasi all it involves money pagdating po sa customs. Sana po mawala.
Yung nga po, Mr. Che, no, we can clearly see na dito po lifeblood po kasi itong parang part of the big lifeblood of our economy, itong mga ports natin, saka ito yung mga pumapasok, saka lumalabas, no. And Sir Jimmy, talagang based sa mga nasabi niyo po, no, talagang maniniwala ka talaga na did modernization help, or hanggat may mga kamay po dyan sa likod na pumipindot ng go signal, kahit anong klase pong sistema, kaya mong palusutan dito sa ating mga ports, saka sa ating customs. Tama po ba yun, Sir Jimmy? Would you agree?
Yes, Your Honor. Pero nakakapag-abot lang tayo ng international standard. Pero yung corruption po, hindi po nalilisen because of that modernization. Ang kailangan po doon, hindi malaman ng examiner at saka ng empleyado kung kanino yung kargamento. Hindi po ma-identify ang container na ito kay Juan de la Cruz. Ang kailangan po doon, yung accreditation, yung account management office, yung office na yon ay dapat po sigurado na yung mga incorporator, no, SEC-registered company ay siguradong tama, hindi po bogus. Kasi wala pong makakasuhan dahil from amo, napaka-importante, doon pa lang po ay bogus na yung mga tao. So lahat po ng dokumento, kung yun ay itatama yung warehouse, itatama po yung address, wala pong makakalusot na smuggling. Ngayon, pagdating po sa import permit, manggagaling po yun kung saan concerned agency. So mawawala po yun. Now, ang kailangan po, hindi alam yung amo ng examiner at hindi rin alam ng examiner kung kaninong consignee para po mawala yung tarahan nila, gulo. Then at the same time, Your Honor, the examiner must be reassigned 2 or 3 months from the Port of Manila to Port of Batangas and the other ports para hindi po ma-identify kung anong produkto ang meron doon. Your Honor, there must also be a pre-inspection coming from the port of origin. Kasi hindi naman po yan makakalusot eh. Doon po sa bill of lading, yan ang kontrata ng importer, exporter. Nandun na po yung goods. Pag nagkamali po doon sa pagdeklara, ibig sabihin may kasabwat galing sa port of origin. Your Honor, the same with my case in the case of Mr. Taguba. Galing po sa port of origin, alam na yun kung sino nun ang nag-export. So, hindi po makakalusot ang smuggling, Your Honor. Pag mayroong pre-inspection representative, lalo na po kung mayroon din ang government ng particular bansa or country na mag-certify na yun ay tama, na importation, tama ang deklarasyon. At hindi po alam ng examiner at ng intelligence operative ng police, kahit po ang deputy commissioner, isa lang po dapat ang nakakaalam sa concerned product, kung ano ang product. And again, Your Honor, doon po sa amo, nandoon po yung importable materials. Kung ano po yung naka-accredit sa amo, account management office, yun lang dapat ang import. Kasi nakalagay po yun doon bago po aprobahan ng amo. Kung ang amo po ay under ng intelligence or under ng office of the commissioner, dapat po nire-review. Yung po ba na ini-import ng isang consignee ay nandoon sa inaprobahan according doon sa amo accreditation. If it is not, wala po doon, Your Honor, ay dapat wag na ipayagan. Kahit to general merchandise. Pag nag-i-inspect po ako niya, pinag-define ko kung anong klaseng general merchandise. Kung yan ba ay shoes na swelas lang, yan ba ay kettle na So yan po, Your Honor, ay power po yan ng customs. Wala pong magkakaroon ng smuggling kung lahat po yun ay tatama.
So with that statement, Mr. Chair, Ginong Jimmy, nung paparating na po yung shipment na from Indonesia is, siyempre alam na po nung incoming na may shabu po yung shipment na yun. Tama po ba?
Your Honor, yung pre-shipment, ang customs po bago dumating ang kargamento, may dokumento na. Meron na po kaming advance foreign manifest. I'm sure the district collector, the office of the commissioner, even sa aming opisina po, meron na kaming advance. Hindi pa ho dumarating yung barko, may dokumento na kami kung ano deklarasyon ng doon. So pagka minis-declared po, hindi malalaman. Pero po, galing po doon sa port of origin, alam na po yun kung ano ang laman ng barko. Anong laman ng container, rather. Kung anong laman ng container.
Pero yun nga, pag hindi siya declared, pero there has to be someone who knows that there is an incoming na ganun po from our end. Tama po ba? Alam na rin nila na may parating na.
Yes, Your Honor, kasi hindi po maglalakas loob yun mag-import kung hindi alam o hindi timbrado sa district o sa port ng pagbabagsakan. Ibig sabihin, may linya na sila. Nag-uusap na sila May presyo na yan kung magkano, kung paano gagawin. In my case, Your Honor, that is already more than 30 days. Abandon shipment, hindi nila ginagalaw. Tapos nung hinuli namin, kami ang kinulong. I'm very sure, the Honorable Commissioner nandito po. Abandon shipment yung hinuli namin. Wala pong nawalang kargamento kahit na ano sa loob. So, ibig sabihin, totally po nahuli namin yung shabu. Wala pong nawala kahit piso. Totally, hindi na ho nakalabas ng customs. So, ibig sabihin, may kasabot na yun doon sa district office or port na pagbabagsakan kung sino ang magtuturuawi ng kargamento na yon, anong oras, anong gabi, or kaya ipaparalyze yung computer para mailabas po yung illegal na droga.
Ano na, gagana na yung
Brownout.
Tara, yung Magic Lifter, saka yung mga
Yes.
Magic X-ray, no?
Yes, Your
Sir
Honor.
Jimmy.
Opo.
Mr. Chair, for a few questions na lang po. What has the BOC done? Kasi naging malaking issue to eh. So what are they doing now na para hindi po mangyari ulit to? Mabawasan o what has been their moves? Kumbaga, ano pong ginagawa nila para i-improve yung system, totally matanggal na o malesen man lang po yung mga ganitong problema natin, Mr. Chair. Anyone from the BOC can answer.
Mr. Chair, we have learned from this experience, from this incident involving this EMT case, Your Honor, so that in the parameters, we have improved the parameters that was inputted by the Risk Management Office, so that this kind of importers, EMT was I think a new, relatively new importer, but it was able to qualify, or he was nakalagay siya sa green lane. So, from this experience, hindi na po pwede yun, sir, na ang isang relatively new importer with no parang history, very short history, hindi na pwedeng pumasok as green lane. So ito lang yung mga na may history na walang violation, sir.
But again, Mr. Chair, parang these are minor improvements from what we're expecting, no? Kasi syempre, siguro I would like to ask the BOC as well. In one of your meetings or yung mga, syempre meron kayong mga ginagawang security measures. Was anyone in the meeting suggesting or even considering third party or upgrading of systems or additional security measures po?
Currently, the Bureau of Customs is in the direction of pre-shipment inspection from the port of origin, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Last na lang po kay Sir Jimmy siguro at saka kay Sir Mark. Siyempre po, matagal na po kayo dyan. I mean, si Sir Jimmy, si Sir Mark, medyo mas masasabi niyo po ba na yung TARA system din po ang naging problema? At saka kung saan na kayo ngayon, yung sistema na yun na parang naging way of life, hindi ganun ka-foolproof. Tapos kayo pa po yung nadiin. Parang ganun na po yun eh. Ganun na pong dating nun eh. Naging biktima po kayo ng isang sistema na kinasanayan po sa BOC.
Yes po, Your Honor.
So sabi nga ni Kong Jingy kanina, yung fall guy talaga. Yung nangyari sa inyo, kayo yung mga fall guy. Pero for my last question, sir, kung meron po bang representative dito, sa mga nag-file po ng cases against you, bakit kayo po yung agad na mga finailan nila? Ano po ang kumbaga anong inspirasyon nila? Ba't kayo agad yung napasok at nabigyan na file na sunod-sunod na mga kaso?
Your Honor, sa case ko po ay pinaka-worst po yun dahil magkasama kami ng PDEA na nanghuli. I'm sure they were present today. wala kaming pinakawalan, kundi tinorn over properly sa PDEA. Then during the Senate hearing, nandun lang kami. I don't know what was the reason bakit nagkaroon ng conspiracy to import. Na present po ang PDEA during the time of the apprehension. Then the magnetic lifter loaded with shabu was also apprehended inside of the area of the Bureau of Customs. Hindi po nakalabas. Hindi pa po na-examine, kundi that was already an abandoned shipment. And hindi po namin makuha bakit po yung personnel ng Customs ay hindi po ginalaw, hindi nakasuhan. Bakit ko ako na isa sa mga nanghuli, ako po ang kinasuhan. Kasama po si then late Colonel Pajardo at saka si Colonel Asierto, then the rest. Ang pinaka-worst pa po noon, may umadmit pa kung sino ang may-ari ng kargamento na hinuli namin na nawawala hanggang ngayon. Hindi na makita. It was presented in the Senate. Then after na may present sa Senate, nawala yung umamin na kanya yung consignee, siya ang may-ari ng consignee. So ako na po ang hinabol ng hinabol nung dating administrasyon. And hopefully, Your Honor, we be given right and proper justice.
Follow-up na lang po, Mr. Chair. Sir Jimmy, what are you expecting from all of these hearings? Kaya si Sir Mark, may expectation pa po ba kayo? O siyempre, naisiwalat nyo na po yung mga statements, yung mga kailangan yung sabihin through your affidavits. Is there still hope? Meron pa po ba kayong ine-expect na mangyari po dito sa mga hearings natin?
Thank you, Your Honor. Of course, Your Honor, we are expecting a speedy trial of our case, especially in my case that I am on appeal. Then at the same time sana, Your Honor, pairalin po yung tama na batas, rule of law. Huwag naman po sana yung impluensya. Dahil nakitang-kita naman po, kahit na hindi pa po abogado, hindi masyadong marunong sa legal, nandoon po yung katunayan na wala po kaming ginawa, kundi hulihin lang ang illegal na droga sa loob mismo ng customs at wala pong nawawala. Thank you po.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Congressman Ortega. The last to interpolate on the topic of drugs before we proceed sa EJK is Congressman Acop. Congressman Acop, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Nagpalista ako dahil sa mga statement ni or sagot ni Mr. Jimmy Guban sa mga katanungan ni Honorable Ortega. Before I proceed there, Mr. Chair, may I ask PDEA,
yes, Mr. Chair.
could you compare yung status ng illegal drug situation in this country between 2024 and 2023? Alin po ang nagkaroon tayo ng problema sa illegal drugs? 2023, 2024, or what?
What will we compare, sir? 23 and 24?
Yeah, for 2024, mas marami ba kaysa doon sa 2023 ang illegal drugs in this country?
Ang huli ngayon, sir, is paliit ng paliit, sir.
So it's improving.
Yes, sir. Paliit na paliit yung huli namin ngayon, sir.
O baka naman humihina kayo sa panghuli?
Di,
Di
sir,
ba pwede yun?
nag-operate na, sir, yung PNP joint with PDEA. Kaya, overall, sir, for 2024, sir, kaunti yung nahuhuli namin, sir.
Ganon.
Yes, sir.
Sige. Mr. Guban, ako, na-surprise ako doon sa mga sagot mo kay Honorable Ortega. May I know kung sino po ang nag-imbestiga sa kaso po ninyo?
Your Honor, as far as my recollection is concerned, it was PDEA.
PDEA.
Yes, Your Honor.
The same is true with Mr. Taguba. Sabay kayo.
Magkahiwalay po kami, Your Honor. Nauna po yung sa
PDEA
kanya.
rin ang nag-imbestiga sa iyo. At nag-file ang kaso. May I know who was the director of PDEA then?
During that time, Your Honor, nabasa ko ang director during that time is si General Aquino, Your Honor.
May I know, Mr. Chair, if Director General Aquino is present in this hearing today?
Yes, Your Honor, he is present.
He was invited and he is here today, Congressman Akop.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Totoo po ba yung sagot ni Mr. Guban na kayo po ang Director General ng PDEA when his case was investigated by your office?
That's right, Mr. Chair.
That's right. So, narinig niyo po naman yung mga sagot ni Mr. Guban dun sa mga katanungan ni Honorable Ortega na nagtataka siya kung bakit yung mga illegal drugs naman ay nandun sa loob ng customs area at sila nga ang nakahuli. Nagtataka siya bakit sila lang ang nakasuhan. Could you explain that to this committee?
Actually, sir, more than 40 drug personalities ang napailan ng kaso with regards to this magnetic lifters discovery. Marami sir na hold, may mga Chinese, may Vietnamese, may mga personalities sa mga customs and all other personalities that is involved in that particular case.
We're talking of yung drug haul, illegal drug haul na involved si Mr. Jimmy Guban.
Yes, sir.
Doon lang tayo, hindi yung ibang mga insidente.
Yun na yun, sir. Yung discovery ng magnetic lifters.
May I know how many personnel of customs were charged because of this incident?
How many personnels who were, ano yun, sir?
Personnel of customs. Kasi, sabi ni Mr. Guban, yung illegal drugs, hindi naman nakalabas sa customs eh. Would that be correct, Mr. Guban?
Yes, Your Honor.
At kayo po ang nakadiscover doon. Kung tama yung pagkarinig ko, doon sa sagot nyo sa tanong ni Honorable Ortega.
Yes, Your Honor.
Di ba?
Together with Colonel Asierto and Colonel Pardo.
Colonel Pardo at saka
Colonel Asierto, Your Honor.
Colonel Asierto, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, may know kung ilan pong tao sa customs ang na-filean po ninyo ng kaso regarding this issue?
Merong mga napailan ng kaso, sir, sa customs, particularly dun sa X-ray machines and all other departments. Hindi ko lang, sir, exactly alam kung ilan, sir, ang napailan na ng mga lahat ng personnel ng customs.
Mr. Guban, what can you say about the answer of Director General Aaron Aquino?
Your Honor, hindi pa ho na-X-ray yan kasi nahuli po yan sa loob mismo ng yarda ng Manila International Container Port.
Hindi na nga po sana ako magtatanong. Kaya lang, nakuha yung aking interest doon sa mga kasagutan ni Mr. Guban, doon sa mga pagtatanong ni Honorable Ortega, na yung illegal drug shipment ay nahuli naman doon sa loob ng customs. Hindi naman po nahuli sa labas eh. Nandun sa loob ng customs. So, ako, even an ordinary person will say, bakit yung mga taga-customs, bakit nakapasok doon? Di ba? And ang tanong ko, bakit si Mr. Guban na lang nandun sa kulungan? Kaya ang tanong ko, meron pa bang taga-customs personnel na nakakulong because of this issue?
Yung nangyari sa MICP, sir, I think it's only...
You're not answering my question, DG. My question is, meron pa bang personnel ng customs, aside from Mr. Guban, na nakakulong dahil sa issue na ito?
Siya lang, sir, sa
Bureau of Customs. Bakit po kaya? Are you trying to tell us na nakapasok yung illegal drugs sa loob ng customs, na walang pagkukulang yung ibang tauhan ng customs? Is that what you're trying to tell us?
Sir, hindi lang siya napailan ng kaso doon, sir. Meron din kami mga Chinese na napailan ng kaso doon, the importers.
Hindi, ang pinag-uusapan natin yung customs. Huwag mong isidetrack yung issue na pinupursu ko. Ang tanong ko is, why is it na yung tao, kasi ang tanong ni Mr. Guban kanina sa katanungan ni Honorable Ortega, bakit ako lang nakakulong, ako pang nakahuli? Hindi naman nakalabas sa customs yung illegal drugs. So, paano nakapasok sa customs yung illegal drugs na walang pagkakamali o pagkukulang yung mga taga-customs. Could you explain that to me?
Sir, I can explain kung paano nakapasok, sir, yung container van sa...
Kayo ang nag-imbestiga eh. Bakit? Ikaw na rin mismo nagsabi, siya lang ang customs personnel na napailan ng kaso. Why?
The container van came from Malaysia and the container vans were abandoned. And that's the reason why nagkaroon ng coordination ng PDEA, Bureau of Customs, to check the legality of the container van. Kaya with all the requirements needed, na binuksan, sir, yung container van to check what's inside.
Mr. Guban, the Director General is not answering my question directly. Bago pumasok sa customs area, galing sa ibang bansa, meron po bang customs office o personnel na dadaanan?
Yes, Your Honor, dahil nandoon yun sa container yard, dapat meron doon naka-assign na customs personnel, Your Honor, from that district. Port Collection District na Manila International Container Port, from District Collector, meron pong, I do not remember the office right, na nagbabantay mismo, Your Honor, ng mga container na nandoon sa abandon at saka mga bagong dating ng mga containers, Your Honor.
Hindi. Pagdating, for example, if it came from Vietnam, for example lang ito, sino po ang tumatanggap ng mga container na ito na taga-customs pagpasok sa customs area?
Your Honor, kasama ang PPA ang yung port operation, Your Honor. So yung Deputy Collector for Report of Operation, meron yan nagsasampa sa barko, sila nag-inspect din sa kapuyan ibababa sa container yard. So yung port operation Deputy Collector, Your Honor, yung office niya down the line.
Now, may I ask, ano po kaya ang dahilan? Bakit kayo lang po na-charge sa taga Bureau of Customs, samantalang kayo po ang nakadiscover?
Until now, Your Honor, puzzle po yan hanggang ngayon sa akin dahil kami ang nanghuli. Ako, Your Honor, ang ipinakulong. And according to the complaint of the Director General during that time, ay kami daw ay nag-conspire with Colonel Acerto and Colonel Fajardo na kung saan kami po ang nagtrabaho niyan para mahuli, hindi makalabas sa loob ng BOC upon request of the Honorable Commissioner Lapiña. So ibig sabihin po, lalo na abandoned container yan, mayroong nakakaalam sa office ng Manila International Container Port kung aling mga containers ang abandoned na walang gumagalaw. Ibig sabihin po, may kausap doon na tiga-custom.
Kasi yun po yung kumbaga sa question mark o may walang kasagutan sa aking mga katanungan sa aking isip. Bakit the investigating body cannot explain to this committee bakit po yung nanghuli at hindi nakalabas yung illegal drugs sa customs na taga-customs, siya ngayon ang nakakulong? Matanong ko nga po kayo.
Meron din kasing na-discover kaming container van, sir, sa GMA Cavite na nakalink doon sa MICP container or the magnetic lifters. So, dalawang magnetic lifters sa...
Malayo po yung sagot nyo doon sa aking katanungan eh.
Sir, kaya nga namin sila kinasuhin din because nakalink din sila doon sa kaso na discover namin sa GMA na 4 naman na magnetic lifters na discover namin. So these are the same magnetic lifters that was discovered in MICP. And perhaps, sir, I can also ask the legal service of PDEA to determine the real reason, sir. I'm sorry, sir.
PDEA, what would be your answer to the request of former DG Aaron Aquino?
Sir, we'll check with the records. We are not still there in PDEA when that happened, but we can get it from the records of PDEA, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Chair, I cannot proceed more because PDEA is not ready to give an answer to my questions. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Congressman Akop. Perhaps we would just pursue that line of questioning when the legal department of PIDEA will be present in the next committee hearing. Yung tanong ko lang ulit sa Bureau of Customs, no? Ang legal department, di ba, kapag ka merong order for seizure, kayo yan, di ba? Sa office nyo nang gagaling yung seizure orders, correct?
No, Your Honor. It comes from the port collector.
So, ang port collector orders the legal department to issue a seizure order.
No, Your Honor. It's the port collector who issues the warrant of seizure and detention.
So, ang ano yan, ang port collector.
Yes, sir.
Now, kung merong order of seizure, paano naman nalilift yung order na yan?
Okay. Warrant of seizure and detention assumes that the items are imported. And if it's imported, pwedeng may incidents ng duties and taxes or violations.
Technical smuggling or outright smuggling, correct?
Misdeclaration, undervaluation, or misclassification, Your Honor. And then after the issuance of the WSD, the port conducts a hearing to determine if liable for forfeiture po yung...
Who conducts the hearing?
It's the law division of the port.
So in this case, kayo?
It's the law division of the port, Your Honor.
So iba pa rin yung legal ng customs sa law division ng port?
The law division belongs to the port, Your Honor. Legal service is in the central office.
Okay, so who now orders the lifting of the seizure order or yung WSD?
So after the hearing, Your Honor, depende dun sa mapapatunayan during the seizure hearings, it can be released or forfeited. If it's released, Your Honor, that's a decision against the government. It's a subject to automatic review by the commissioner.
Just like recently, meron tayong na-seize na mga bigas that was forfeited in favor of the government, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, in other words, yung order to lift the seizure would have been issued or would have come from the office of the legal department under the law department.
Upon its review, Your Honor, we make recommendations to the Commissioner of Customs. And then we draft the recommendation, Your Honor, for the approval of the Commissioner.
Sige. We will just perhaps continue that line of questioning sa next because we can now proceed.
Meron lang ako itatanong din tungkol doon sa isyong yun.
Okay, sandali. Kasi last interpellator si Congressman Akop sa topic ng drugs, but we can allow you for a short interjection, Congressman Dan Fernandez and then Congressman Paduano.
Yes, sino ba ng mga nagko-conduct ng mga raids? Doon sa, halimbawa, na-issuean sila ng LOA. Di ba mga CIIS ang nagko-conduct?
Primarily, Your Honor, the intelligence group who...
Intelligence group of what division?
Of the Bureau of Customs, Your Honor. It's a group.
Ano pangalan ng group nila?
Intelligence group, Your Honor. CIIS.
Yun na nga, yun yung sinabi ko kanina. CIIS. Sila yung nagko-conduct. Kaya nga, Mr. Chairman, siguro kailangan po natin maimbita. Sino ang head ng CIIS ng Port of Manila and ng MICP? Head.
For MICP, Your Honor, I think certain NCISO, and for POM, Your Honor, I think it's a certain Joel Pinawin, Your Honor.
Okay. So sila ang mga nagko-conduct ng mga raids na yon?
They implement the letter of authority issued by the Commissioner, Your Honor.
Yeah.
They're the ones who enforces the letter of authority.
So ngayon, kapag na-enforce na nila yung letter of authority at naging successful nga yung raids, what happened next?
Your Honor, in the enforcement of the letter of authority, the letter of authority comes from the visitorial powers of the commissioner. It's the power of the commissioner to ask proof of duties, proof of payment of duties and taxes on goods openly held for sale or being kept in storage. These are imported goods, openly held for sale or kept in storage. So with the letter of authority, the enforcement of which authorizes the officer of the Bureau of Customs to enforce it to ask for the submission of proof of payment of duties and taxes, Your Honor.
Pero dapat, before that raids na nangyari, hindi na sila dapat nakalabas doon sa port di ba?
Your Honor, if the owner of the goods are able to prove payment, due payment of duties and taxes, then it's okay, Your Honor. It's released or it's given back to, or the, it's not being seized. But if there's no, if the owner fails within 15 days, fails to show proof that.
Bakit 15 days, attorney?
Napakahaba
naman nun.
Nakalagay.
Ano ba yan? Room for negotiation? Kasi pag 15 days, you can do anything Or bakit 15 days ata? Samantalang kung mapapakita mo na meron ka ng mga dokumento, right away. Di ba? Para walang room for negotiation. Kasi yun na nangyayari Di ba?
Your Honor, the 15-day period is provided for in the CMTA under Section 224.
Nang?
CMTA, Your Honor.
CMTA?
Customs Modernization and Tariff Act.
Kaya nga, we need to amend that. Dahil kung 15 days, napakahaba nun. Di ba? So, Mr. Chair, I think we need to dig deeper dito sa sa isyong to kasi medyo dito tayo nakakakita ng window ng ng problema. At kung walang mga naparusahan sa BOC employee na nakapag-issue mga commissioner ng LOA saka ng SWD, tingin ko dito, Mr. Chairman, dito tayo naiisahan ng mga nagtatarang yan sa BOC. Maraming salamat po, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Congressman Dan. Yes, as I said earlier, pagpapatuloy natin yung topic na yan dun sa next hearing natin dyan sa Bureau of Customs. Yes, and last but not the least, on the issue of drugs, Congressman Paduano.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Anyway, make sila to, isang question lang po sa current customs officials. Kasi as I've heard kanina, doon sa sagot ni former Commissioner Feldon at saka ni Commissioner La Peña, it was admitted by them na indeed there is a TARA system in the customs. Eto, attorney, ikaw nga 2009 ka pa, mas nauna pa ka sa kanila. Parang kanina, parang ayaw mo pang aminin na may sistema dyan. Di ba? Mas nauna ka sa kanila, di ba?
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, okay. Now, maswerte ka, hanggang ngayon nandyan ka pa. Now, eto, attorney, narinig mo ba yung yung supposedly proposed reforms that was proposed by Commissioner Paeldon and Commissioner La Peña with regards to modernization and digitalization of the customs?
Actually, Your Honor, at the current...
No, yes or no lang po.
Yes, I have heard, Your Honor.
Oh, you have heard. Hindi pa nga ako nagtatanong ng next question ko. Defensive ka na
Sorry, Your Honor.
Commissioner La Peña, former Commissioner La Peña, Commissioner Feldon, do you believe that if the reforms that you have mentioned will be implemented dun sa sistema sa customs, if not totally eradicated yung TARA system, that can minimize the TARA system?
Yes, Your Honor, it can substantially minimize the TARA system.
General La Peña.
Yes, Your Honor. That can greatly minimize, if not stop, the TARA system.
So, tama din po ba that may budget na during your time, Commissioner Feldon?
Yes, sir, around 400 million plus. But when I assume, because it's a project of, I think, Commissioner Biason pa, but when I assume it's already subject of court litigation. So it was withheld and never implemented during my time because the case was not resolved during my time. So hindi ko alam after me if na-resolve yun at na-implement siya.
Nung time
Your
mo,
Honor.
thank you, Commissioner Peldon. Nung time mo, Jen, Lapenya, yung time mo, what happened to that, modernization plan? Or budget na mismo, budgeted na pala?
Beg your pardon, Your Honor. Are you referring to when you say organization, you are referring to the centralized command center?
I think we are talking about the proposed, supposedly the reform that former Commissioner Biason wants to implement, and it was during the time also of Commissioner Peldon. Kaya lang po nagkakaso daw. So, nung time mo, ano ba bang nangyari doon?
I did not come across that project of Commissioner Biason, Your Honor.
So, you're not familiar about it?
No, Your Honor.
Attorney, sa ngayon po, are you familiar with that? 2009 ka pa eh.
Your Honor, currently the Bureau of Customs is
Not-
undertaking...
Again, please, Attorney, answer my query. You're the legal. The time legal ka na, di ba?
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, now ang tanong ko na sa legal ka ng custom during the time, what happens now? Ano yung update doon? Doon sinasabi ni former Commissioner Peldon, a project during the time of Commissioner Biason, and pinalo up lang ni Commissioner Peldon, kaya lang may kaso. Sa legal ka the time, ano na ngayon yung status noon? At what are the efforts being done by the present Commissioner?
Your Honor, as I've been saying a while ago, Your Honor, currently we are undertaking digitization of all our functions, Your Honor, and I think we are at the threshold of 90%. However, we are being handicapped by a certain case pending with the Manila trial courts, enjoining or stopping the Bureau of Customs from further improving its system, Your Honor.
Sino yung ano?
There's a case, Your Honor. It's a case filed against the Bureau of Customs by a certain Omniprime, Your Honor. Omniprime case.
Ano yung company niyan? Importer?
No, Your Honor. It's a service.
Ang case nyo is not all about the implementation of the project, but with regards to the...
with regards to the improvement of our system,
Pero
computer system.
ang nag-file ng case against you is...
Omniprime.
Ano yung Omniprime? Ano yung interest nila doon?
Your Honor, they participated in a
bidding.
Bidding, Your Honor.
So it's not all about their intention to stop.
Yeah,
But because they are part of the bidding, tapos hindi po nabigay sa kanila, tama? Ganon po ba?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, is a different case that happens during the time of former Commissioner Peldon and Commissioner Biason? It's a different case.
If my memory serves me right, Your Honor, I think it started with Commissioner Lina, Your Honor. Yeah. Commissioner Lina.
Okay, anyway, Mr. Chairman, since Chairman Navantes already moved that we will invite Commissioner Rubio, siguro po tama din lang na in the next hearing dapat po ipatawag natin si Commissioner Rubio para diretso po na masagot niya yung mga katanungan, especially those proposed reforms that was proposed by former commissioners of customs. Now, Mr. Chairman, punta ko lang po si Jimmy Guban. Jimmy, yung case na nakaharap mo ngayon, is that, sino ba yung source of information na may papasok na droga that time?
Your Honor, that came from Colonel Asierto and Colonel Fajardo.
Colonel Asierto and Colonel Fajardo then kinordinate sa'yo?
Yes, Your Honor. Dahil sa customs ako po na ang nag-monitor sa loob kasi hindi naman sila makakapasok.
Okay.
At wala silang direct line para sa customs.
So, may information, nahuli mo?
Together with PDEA, Your Honor.
Together
Your Honor, I am working inside of the Bureau of Customs together with PDEA.
Okay, with PDEA.
Representative of the PDEA, Your Honor.
Who is the head of the operations at time? That
During that
coordinated
time,
you?
Your Honor, the director of NCR was then late Colonel Pajardo. Pero yung team leader niya sa port, I think a certain Bagawi in Soriano. Soriano testified, Your Honor, in court na we were together nung tinatrabaho namin yan. Agent Soriano,
So, Agent Soriano is still active in the PDEA?
I'm
PDEA?
sure, Your Honor. Soriano
PDEA?
in Bagawi, Your Honor.
PDEA? Hindi kasi, Mr. Chairman, ganito
Sir,
lang
will
po.
verify if it is
Yeah,
still active.
please verify it. Then, Mr. Chairman, with that, I move that we will invite a certain Soriano.
Intelligence Officer Soriano and Intelligence Officer Bagawi, Your Honor.
Oh, Intelligence Officer Soriano, Intelligence Officer Bagawi. Para magkalinawan lang po, kasi is General Aquino still present?
Yes, I think.
Kanina nakaupo siya eh. Nawala. Anyway, Mr. Chairman, since for the interest of time, ganito lang po. Pakiano lang po, kay General Aquino, be present in the next hearing because during your stint as the PDEA Director General, sa iyo po nangyari to, yung sa case nila Jimmy Guban. Kasi gusto ko lang tingnan, bakit yung information galing kina Sierto, at alam naman natin ngayon si Sierto nakatago. Testifying in the ICC, part of the, witnesses in the ICC, tapos, sa inyo galing, sa kanila galing information, ikaw nag-operate, together with the PDEA, tapos kayo ngayon ang nakasuhan. Ayun ang hindi ko maintindihan. But your case, ang kaso mo is not part of that discovery doon sa Cavite that was mentioned by General
Your
Aquino?
Honor, that was already dismissed. Sa piskalya pa lang, wala na po yung Cavite, Your Honor. Ang i-final nila sa amin yung nahuli namin mismo sa loob. Dahil wala naman pong katotohanan yung Cavite.
Jimmy.
Yes, Your Honor.
But ang Cavite was also filed against you?
Yes, Your Honor, but pagdating sa piskalya, dinismiss na po kaagad.
Ang kaso doon sa Cavite, that's also involved Caserto and Fardo?
Yes, Your Honor, pero...
So, tatlo pa rin kayo?
Yes, the same, Your Honor po. Kami pong tatlo
Hindi, tatlo lang kayo. No other than...
Meron pa po, Your Honor, yung may-ari ng magnetic lifter ng doon sa customs at saka ni certain tatlo o dalawang Chinese.
Sana ngayon yung may-ari at saka yung dalawa o tatlong Chinese national?
Your Honor, nawawala po. Tapos pati po yung umami na may-ari ng kargamento na nahuli sa loob ng customs, nawawala rin po.
Oh, please, Mr. Chairman, please, can we get all the names that was... matandaan mo pa ba yung mga pangalan, Jimmy?
Taguba, Your Honor, Mr. Taguba, yung asawa, babae, Katipan. Umamin po yan, Your Honor, during the Senate hearing.
Mr. Chairman, can we ask the help of the CIDG or the Philippine National Police to locate those persons?
Tigakalapan po yan, Your Honor.
Mentioned by by Jimmy, kasi kailangan patawag natin yan para at least magkaalaman na kasi we will not discuss about the merit of the case.
Bicaba, Your Honor, Bicaba Trading.
This committee will not discuss about the merit of the case in regards to the case that has filed to you and now under appeal. What I'm saying is, medyo nakapagtataka lang kasi kayo pong may hawak na information, kayo pa pong humuli, now, kayo pong nakasuhan. Yun lang po. Kaya we have to clear it out dun sa mga possible persons, no? Persons involved in that operations, Mr. Chairman. With that, as of now, Mr. Chairman, yun na po muna.
Tanong na rin naman po ni our fellow colleagues here, including si Congressman Luistro. Most of the questions that we had, mostly we wanted to focus on yung TARA system, and nabanggit naman ni Mr. Mark Taguba as confirmed by Commissioner Faldon. So far, what we have known. Just some points po, no, just to corroborate siguro. I'd like to direct some questions to Mr. Guban, if the committee would hear it. So, Mr. Guban, through the Honorable Chairman, matanong lang po, no, you too have had an experience in this TARA system. You have insights po, tama po ba?
Yes, Your Honor, Mr. Chair.
And this is stemming from your experience as, I believe you were an intel officer po ba? Or ano po yung position niyo dati?
I am an intelligence officer, Your Honor.
Opo. Just to give us a brighter idea, kasi alam naman po natin, in general terms, yung TARA system would be a way by means yung ating mga brokers, mga importers would collude with allegedly with public officers in the customs to bring in goods illegally, either through, I think there's technical smuggling and actual smuggling po, no? These are the usual crimes that would be associated with the TARA system. But I'd just like to ask po, no? Because sa amin po, for example, hindi naman po kami from that industry. We don't understand po yung structure. Yung Bureau of Customs is generally, that's a national body po, no? Pero do we operate like our other agencies na by region po ito? Or ano po yung structure ng BOC?
Yes, Your Honor, by district. Like for example, Your Honor, we have the different districts in Batangas Port, Subic, Davao, Cebu. Then in Manila, we have 2 ports, the Manila North Harbor and the South Harbor.
So, Mr. Guban, sorry, makat lang po. No? So, generally, ang agencies po natin, kasi nalalaman natin, for example, when we're talking about DepEd, when we're talking about DOLE, it's geographical po, no? Based on regions, generally, ang ating division. We lump cities and municipalities into provinces, provinces into regions, and regions into the national whole. Pagdating po sa customs, it does not follow yung ating municipalities and city structure po, no? It's depending on the port.
Depending on the port, Your Honor. Not exactly the geographical situation, Your Honor.
Okay, so ang pinaka-basic structure natin would be district. The port
District, Your Honor. Port
And
district.
we're only talking of seaports po ba? Hindi po kasama yung mga airports?
Kasama po yung airport, Your Honor. International Airport in Clark, Cebu, Mactan International Airport, then, of course, the NAIA.
Okay, and I'm sure our current representative from Customs can confirm naman po, no? This is just general knowledge, tama po?
That's correct,
Okay.
Your Honor.
So we have districts, collectors district, ano po yung tawag natin dito?
District Collector, Your Honor. The
District-
head of office, Your Honor, on that particular district ay collector, district collector, Your Honor.
The pinaka-basic structure will be yung port, yung districts natin, and then you have the district collector, which is the head. And they report, meron bang regional, meron bang by Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, or straight to the Bureau?
Yes, Your Honor, diretso na po yan sa Office of the Commissioner.
Okay, so the Office of the Commissioner, which is composed of how many commissioners nga po tayo?
1 commissioner, Your Honor, and I think this are about 3 deputy commissioner and 1 assistant commissioner.
Yung deputy commissioners po natin, is that by operational area or different?
Nationwide, Your Honor.
Nationwide, all 3. So 1 commissioner, 3 deputies, and then yung district collectors po natin.
Yes, Your Honor.
Where does your intelligence office come into play?
Your Honor, we have also a Deputy Commissioner for Intelligence Group and to CIIS, Customs Intelligence and Investigation Service.
Okay. And ano po yung trabaho ng ating intelligence service?
Well, of course, Your Honor, we are gathering information who are those brokers and importers na illegally nag-i-import or fraudulently declaring goods na hindi tama at saka yung iba naman ay totally illegal or hindi lang technical smuggling kundi pure smuggling or outright smuggling.
So yung target po ng inyong intelligence work is usually in the outside, yung mga those who would collude po, no, yung importers and brokers.
Not only, Your Honor, that includes the inside because we are also working against the customs personnel, Your Honor.
So yung BOC, merong opisina sa loob under the Deputy Commissioner for Intelligence Service po, no, that works on both ends. It's to catch yung mga smugglers that are working for yung private persons and also against yung mga public officials po natin.
Yes, Your Honor.
And nabanggit po kanina nung ating legal officer po, no? Of course, the legal office would be more on the in the name legal side po, no. Pero sabi niya, tama po ba, Mr. Legal Officer of the BOC, na you mentioned wala kayong administrative case that you're aware of regarding yung TARA system?
Yes, Your Honor.
Even in the Sandigan, wala po tayong mga cases that you're not aware of, mga cases filed against Bureau of Customs?
I have a case which was, I think it's entrapment, Your Honor. It was conducted by NBI. But the case was dismissed by the Regional Trial Court and pending admin case.
And these were yung cases po regarding yung smuggling po talaga? The entrapment was in relation to TARA particularly?
It's a, well, I don't know if I can discuss the circumstances, but it was a kind of a entrapment of a drop-off of a sum of money.
Okay, so it's in relation to graft and corruption within the BOC. So, which should be high related because of the field of BOC that would be in the customs industry. we're talking of how the graft is related to yung smuggling and technical smuggling, tama po. That would be the natural case because what other purpose would there be bribery po, no, in the BOC if not to smuggle?
That's correct.
So in a way, it's related. And sometimes po, we have related yung ating mga drugs cases, which is what brings us here to begin with. You mean to tell me, just to clarify po, no? So you are aware of yung mga drugs cases po natin?
In particular, sir, itong EMT case, we have had a conviction on this case, Your Honor.
So you've had a conviction in this case, and actually, part of the legal service is kayo po mismo ang nagpa-file ng mga kaso, no?
This was filed by the legal service, correct? And yeah, this has been, we had obtained a conviction on this case, but still under appeal. I did 3 accused filed an appeal, and the other one filed a motion for reconsideration. It's now pending before the court, regional trial court, and the Court of Appeals.
So, like the legal service po, through the Honorable Chairman, like the intelligence service, I mean, ang legal service po is pointed outwards towards yung mga private persons, yung importers, yung brokers, and also inwards. You would also file cases po against your own. Tama po ba?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So you mean to tell me po, just to confirm, in the case of Mr. Mark Taguba, in which supposedly yung sa EMT, yung with drugs are now related, and there was a mention of the TARA, you would still say na di nyo po alam na may TARA system?
In the EMT case, Your Honor, it's a case of, I suppose it was a case of misdeclaration, and then it was discovered upon source outside of the Philippines, and information came in that a certain shipment contains drugs. So when they acted on that active intelligence, they were able to follow the shipment, and they were able to follow and go to the site or location and found the items, Your Honor. The 5 crates, metal crates containing this shabu, Your Honor.
But of course, since you are following this case, the allegations by Mr. Taguba that there is TARA system, that's the first time you've heard of it in your tenure in the BOC.
I've heard about the TARA system that was mentioned by Taguba during the Senate inquiry on the matter. I believe I can remember that it was published, it was aired live, Your Honor.
Thank you. I'll come back to that na po, no? Or perhaps in the next hearing when hopefully si Commissioner will join us, because we want to take the input rin po of the BOC itself. But okay, we'll go back po siguro to Mr. Guban, please. With the indulgence of Chairman Acop. Mr. Guban, so going back to the question po, no? I just wanted to confirm kasi po with legal, yung ano yung organizational structure po nila. And like the intelligence service, they focus both on the outside and inside the BOC. And sa inyo naman po, intelligence service, and you were serving under, is this directly under the Deputy Commissioner for Intelligence?
The CIS Director, Your Honor. Kami mga personnel po, Director po ang nakaka-under sa amin directly.
And you operate nationwide po, or are you assigned per district?
Per district also, Your Honors.
So per district, saan ka na-assigned at your last post?
During that time at the Port of Manila.
Port of Manila, which is the biggest?
One among the biggest, Your Honor.
One among the biggest. So from your, how many years nga po yun, sir, that you mentioned? Your
17 years.
Around 17 years of service in the BOC. This was fully intelligence?
Yes, Your Honor.
And yung TARA system is nothing new to you?
Your Honor, wala pa ako sa Customs. I was with Economic Intelligence and Investigation Bureau before I became an intelligence officer in the Customs. TARA system is already there.
And it's always been the same, yung red lane, green lane, yellow lane?
Before, Your Honor, wala pa yan, asikuda. I think that was during the time of Commissioner Paraino na nag-modernize, then pinalitan na lang selectivity system because of the computerization. So, I think pagkapatapos ni Commissioner Paraino, then the next Commissioner, I think that was Commissioner Morales, unti-unti na po nag-modernize, digitalize na po ang custom. So, ginawa na po yung selectivity system. So nagkaroon na po niya ng super green lane, green, yellow, red, orange.
Well, Mr. Guban, through the Honorable Chairman, kasi nabanggit po earlier when it was being discovered, I think by Congresswoman Luistro, very particular po no, yung pagbanggit ng TARA together with the expose of Mr. Taguba, na yung TARA po is in relation to the process, may green lane, yellow lane, red lane, and how it's able to ease the inflow of whether it's underdeclared or totally illegal po, no, na smuggled goods. Yun yung na-mention na process. But you mentioned time immemorial. So, even before the process of red, green, yellow, even before digitalization, may TARA. What was the very concept of TARA? Kung ganun po.
Your Honor, as if na mapabilis ang transaction para yung papel ay bumilis at hindi na masyado higpitan ng personnel. So, that is almost the same, Your Honor, partnership. Hindi na examine ng 100%, maybe 10 or 20%. Then at the same time, wag na dumaan masyado sa X-ray. Saglit na lang, then okay na because of the TARA. Then that is also the time, Your Honor, na hindi mo na ngayon madidetect kung ano ang laman ng container, kung ano ang nasa loob. Kahit na anong ideklara nila, baliwala na po sa mga empleyado ng custom dahil connected or may TARA na. So may per container na.
So, whether or not the process was in relation to digital or mano-mano or kung ano man previous, merong TARA in the sense na there is influence being peddled to connect private persons to public officers to facilitate yung smuggling. Yun po yung basic na sinasabi.
Yes, Your Honor. That is the very basic.
But if I'm not mistaken, kayo po ba, Mr. Guban, or si Mr. Taguba, yung nag-mention na may central command?
There was a central command, Your Honor, pero si Mr. Taguba, binanggit niya rin po yan.
Nabanggit rin. But you are aware also of the central. Can you
Yes,
elucidate po, ano po yung central command that you're referring to?
Well, I think, Your Honor, this started the central command from the time of Commissioner Paildon, na kung naglagay siya lang lahat represented para mapabilis ang proseso. I'm not mistaken, I'm sorry, Your Honor. Pero doon po yun ang Central Command na sila ang nagbibigay ng go signal to all the districts, including our offices, different offices, kung mali or hahabulin ng container o hindi. Then that was also the experience of Mark Taguba.
So it's not innately wrong. Yung Central Command pala is just a structural thing.
That was already part of the structure, Your Honor.
Okay, it's a structural thing, but it's the exposure to TARA which lends it to
The most
abuse.
expensive, Your Honor, because it will not be done. Ang TARA doon sa Central Command, if there is no clearance from the higher officer, they will never impose any single centavo there if those people within that command does not have an approval, Your Honor.
And maybe just a quick confirmation from Commissioner Faildon that this is the same finding that you've had despite during your tenure?
Yes, Your Honor. We created the Central Command to facilitate the processing of, that's one reason, the processing of, for trade facilitation. Number two is, because nalaman ko nga na mayroong TARA system. And every port have their own activity there. That's why the command system is the one who issues yung alert. And the representative of that command center is from the different, there are 6 deputy commissioners. So it's, hindi po siya 3, 6 po siya. So these are the experts, these are our technocrats who are homegrown there, understands the nitty-gritties of importation. They have representative in that command center. And this is headed by Deputy Commissioner Gambala at that time. This was also subject to some court litigation filed by some of the importers, but it was dismissed. In fact, it was also reinstated by one of the succeeding commissioner because it was really good. Kasi ang hirap, 38 ports, kanya-kanyang alert sila eh. We do not want to burden the importation of commodities. That's why the purpose of the CENTCOM, Central Command, is to centralize the issuances of pag i-hold mo yung isang commodity. Kasi that is where the corruption starts. I-alert ka nila and then maglalagay ka para i-release. So we put that purposely to facilitate the trade. Nawala na yung kanya-kanya silang turf. So those representatives coming from the different 6 deputy commissioners' office come up with a collegial decision whether this commodity will be alerted or not. So it is a collegial body. It is also organized to stop the TARA system, whether it become effective or not. That is why we have several apprehensions like the Mighty, who later on we file a case. Nanalo nga po tayo ng 33 billion. We have apprehended several yacht. May aeroplano pa kaming. So those are the result of that. But some importers did not like it because siyempre tatamaan ka kung meron kang nitty-gritties na ginagawa. So it's really the two sides of the coin. Who is nagsasabi ng totoo dito? So I leave it to your judgment whether it is. Yes, there was a case filed against it, but it was dismissed. The court find it legal and within the authority of the commissioner to put that up. That's why one of my successors instated it later on. Yeah, they called it operation center, but it functions the same. So I don't see it as something that is being projected by other sectors. It was really there to facilitate the trade and to curb the TARA system, Your Honor.
Thank you, former Commissioner. So just to clarify po, no, in your opinion, the creation of this operational center was to fight a parang decentralized TARA within yung mga district?
Yes, Your Honor, we did not just create that. During my time, we put CCTVs nationwide in all the ports. So we have eyes on all the ports and all the offices. That's why many people do not like it. In fact, there were hundreds of officials na nahuli namin through that system. Dahil nakatuto kami. And we filed cases, may na-dismiss, mayroon captain ng customs police, nahuli namin dyan sa Tara-Tara na yan. And was filed a case, dismissed. So, it was doing good when I was the one running it. That's why may mga umayaw doon sa sistema kasi nabago eh. Yung little turf nila in every port, nawala yon. So we removed their power to issue alert. Kasi yan ang nag-uumpisa yan, i-alert kita pag di ka magbigay. So tinanggal po namin yun, naging centralized siya.
Thank you, Commissioner. So at least we got your opinion na it was to combat yung mga little TARA systems nationwide. However, the allegation, I believe, of if it was Mr. Guba or Mr. Taguba is that naging central na rin po yung TARA. Dahil may central command, it became a smaller world where these are the only people whose palms you had to grease. Allegedly po, no? But I understand where you're coming from po, Commissioner. So with that said po, no? So we have now, although the structure is supposedly by district, naging centralized na po ito. And it reminds me of a statement that you made, Mr. Guban, yung may tinatawag kang mafia that would control the BOC. And you stand by that allegation po ba?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you mentioned earlier that you've served 17 years in the BOC. And TARA system has always existed. So this mafia has always existed?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor.
But this mafia would be composed of which personalities po ba?
Well, different. That was during the time of the administration of the past administration, Your Honor, that there was a Davao Mafia.
Yes, you mentioned particularly the Davao Mafia.
Yes,
and at the time you mentioned both officials, private persons, and there were importers that were participating. Although, yung focus nyo po was mostly on yung public officials po, no?
Public officials and private, Your Honor, because they are, sila po ang in fact, hindi yung commissioner ang nagko-control, but the Davao Mafia ang nagko-control ng customs during that time, Your Honor.
Paano po yun nangyayari? If I understand the head of the BOC would be the commissioner po, or at least the deputy commissioners, how could you say that a mafia controls the BOC?
There were calls na tumatawag. According to our reports, may tawag from the Davao to the commissioner, then the commissioner down the line pababa po.
Sige po. So you're focusing mostly on the Davao Mafia. But you mentioned also that since time immemorial, before your 17 years, meron ng TARA. And it seems to be that what you are saying is yung TARA and the Mafia are closely linked. So even before this previous administration, may Mafia rin po ba?
Inside of the customs, Your Honor, there is a group of syndicate people, Your Honor, na talaga nag-influence pagdating dyan sa TARA system.
So nagbago lang in the past administration kasi the Mafia was now outside.
Different, Your Honor, yun. Yung iba yung before ng administration. Ngayon naman, Honor, kung sino po ang nakalagay doon, from the commissioner down, hindi po mawawalang tara pag hindi inaaprobahan galing sa taas.
But in either case, this is a case of influence peddling.
Yes, Your Honor.
Whether sa loob man, in the case of the mafia that existed prior to the last administration, or a hybrid in which public officers in the BOC and yung sa Davao Mafia, it's all about influence peddling to facilitate this smuggling.
Yes, Your Honor. That is all about influence peddling.
Siguro po, Mr. Chair, I'd have further questions for the BOC mismo. I'd like to reserve it siguro po for when Commissioner Rubio is here. So for now, I'd like to terminate. Thank you po, Mr. Guban. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Mag-subscribe at i-click ang notification bell para sa mga susunod na video updates. Maraming salamat po.